picture that I posted of Joshua in the first round. Yeah, mate, he got sent back to the shadow realm with that one. I joined it.
Yeah, you do it.
Right. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Sunday League Effect. We've upgraded again, downgraded. We have no money, but we no longer have a table. We have two separate tables and hopefully a little bit better lighting. We'll try not to roll ourselves with the mics too much because last week there was a lot of this.
Sorry, we?
Yeah.
You were rubbing yourself for the mic.
Yeah, that's
I was about to leave you guys to it. Get yourself to the room.
That's only because you was too scared.
I was, yeah. I didn't want to rub you.
Before we jump into the weekend action, we'll start off with the main event from the weekend. Not talking football-wise, obviously.
No.
At Wembley, there was a big event. I'm sure a lot of you watching will know. Not many of you will care. But
some of them might. I cared more than I thought I did.
Oh, yeah, true. Oh, actually, wait. Before we start, guys, please like and subscribe. Leave a couple comments down below. Don't care what it says. Tell us what colour socks you're wearing.
Yeah.
If you like hats or not. If you're bald.
It's weird that you started with socks.
Well, I went up, down, and then up.
All right.
Tell us what you had for dinner.
Yeah.
Tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, go and carry on.
Tea.
Well, I don't know who listens to us.
All right, fair. If you're Northern, it's tea.
We're reaching the masses, I hope.
We are. I mean, what if they're not even English?
Then we're fucked. Go on then. So, yeah, the Joshua Dubois fight. I've heard some mad pronunciations of that name.
I just thought it was Dubois.
Yeah, Danny boy. Danny D.
Danny D.
Any porn star?
No.
I'm pretty sure Danny D is a porn star.
Danny D, Danny Dyer.
Nah.
Danny D's a porn star.
I'm pretty sure.
If anybody knows this, and I'm sure if you're watching, you've got time to go on the internet. So
yeah, have a little Google and see.
Obviously, depending on where you are, because if Mike is right, then might be the best thing to see in public.
Yeah, true. Or if you're in North Korea.
Yeah, well, you won't be allowed to. China's the same.
Do they have YouTube?
Probably not.
Do you reckon it's North Tube?
Korean.
Anyway,
we digress. Yes, so the boxing main event, Danny Dubois against Anthony Joshua, who is a Watford boy, like myself.
He's not a Watford fan though, is he?
Well,
I'm pretty sure he's a Tottenham fan. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. We will go on to another tangent that way as well.
Yeah.
I know he's hung out with Troy Deeney and that. But
big man.
Yeah.
Big man like Troy.
Yeah, I mean, they are both big men.
To be fair.
I don't want to get punched by either of them. Saying that, I don't think Dubois minded getting punched by him too much.
He wouldn't know.
No, I mean, the couple of hits he did land didn't seem to do much to him. And then
the one time he got close, it was when he got folded. So
that's it. He sort of let himself go, got swung out at the same time, and that was it. Folded like a deck chair.
Well, just quickly on it before we move into obviously the weekend games. I said it to you because we watched it together.
Yep.
I said it to you at the time that AJ looked odd. Like the whole intro, everything, he just looked odd. He looked similar when he fought Ruiz the first time.
Yeah.
And he also looked similar when he fought Usyk the first time, where he was sort of almost dazed out. Like
it's almost like he was so focused, he was unfocused on the fight.
There was like a glassiness.
Yeah.
To his eyes.
It almost felt to me like he'd gone into there thinking it was going to be either well too easy. Or it was going to be a sparring match. So he wasn't actually focused on the fight. It was almost like he was focused that he'd already won it.
Yeah. The problem with AJ at the minute that I find as a fan watching, I'm not a massive boxing fan, but I do like these big fights.
Yeah.
Going back like to when I was a kid, I used to watch it with mum and dad on a Sunday on normal TV before it cost a fortune. And the problem I have with AJ is that he seems to go through the motions. Like 1 minute he's on top form, like he was against. I know it was only Ngannou who fooled us all by his fight against Usyk, but he looked good and he looked more like his old self. And then he's come into this and he looks like he's come off the street.
I watched him and I thought, finally, after he'd been rattled the first time by
Usyk?
Was it? Yeah, Usyk, because he came back into the second fight and he said all those weird things at
the end. And
I just thought, oh my god, like this is the AJ that we all know and love, really. You know, if you're a massive boxing fan,
I think British boxing fan. He was the country's darling in boxing for a long time.
He was like boxing star boy.
Yeah.
You know, being British, watching him
Olympics.
Yeah, exactly that. Watching him play for the Olympics.
Box
in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Sorry. What I did notice actually in that fight though is that he was toying with him. Like there were
Dubois or
no. So Joshua. Was,
all the weird like, and sticking it and nibbling at him, and he's talking to someone in the crowd at one point, and I'm just like, I don't know who you're trying to be, and you're trying to obviously promote this new version of yourself, but it just comes across arrogant, and when you can't back it up, when you can't back it up, which seemingly he didn't, he just looks like an idiot, and he's just created meme after meme now. Yeah, he's forever in the meme reel.
That's it.
I'm going to put a picture of his face in that first round somewhere about now.
And do you think so? We'll end on this because we need to get on the football. But do you think it's time for him to retire?
From the top shelf boxing, yeah. I think now his level is against the Dillian Whites of the world. No longer is he fighting. Nah.
Moving on to the football.
Talk about the main event there.
So the main event was obviously the title fight. Could you really call it that early?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, everyone was. And do you feel that that's right? I mean, obviously, City definitely.
Arsenal are definitely their closest rivals, especially after that game. First of all, did you watch it?
I did not. I will be honest.
I'm not being funny. You do a football podcast.
Yes.
And we want to appeal to the masses, and you didn't even watch it.
I know.
And there's no excuses. I don't care where you were. You had to watch this game because what are you going to say? Oh, watch the highlights.
I did watch the highlights.
Yeah, well, I watched fucking The Phantom Menace. It doesn't mean I can tell you all about Star Wars.
No, you could tell me about The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, which is shit.
So, I can touch on key events, which there were a lot.
Yeah, there were.
But, I mean, can we also point out that me and probably every single football fan in the country thought this was going to be boring.
100%. I said... I sent so many tweets out leading up to this saying, getting ready for the snooze fest. I slept like shit Saturday night.
Just in preparation to have a nap.
I'd got my pillows on the sofa ready. I had the kids out on their tablets, and I was like, I'm going to have a great nap.
Yeah.
And it was fucking wicked.
So I wasn't even prepared. I thought, it's not going to be anything good. I'll just catch up on it. Which is what happened.
Yeah.
And I hold my hands up. Yes, I do a football podcast, and yes, I should have known better.
And I'm going to put my hands up and say I'll take applications to replace Nick in the comments.
Yeah, just to let you know, it's not very well paid.
But there were loads of talking points.
There was surprisingly more than I thought.
Yeah, and we'll get into the main one. Obviously the red card.
Yeah,
changed the game. That alongside the Rodri injury, who's now apparently out for the season, is cruciate. So it's cruciate.
So I read that it was his cruciate ligament, and that would rule him out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But then I also read somewhere else, and I mean, you can't really trust anything you see on Twitter and things like that. But it was saying that actually, after initial investigations, it's not as bad as they first thought. Now,
for the title race, you don't wish injury on anyone, but for the title race, it opens out massively if Rodri is injured for the season. Yeah. Because you saw it yesterday when Kovacic comes on. I rate Kovacic, top tier player, but there is no one who can do what Rodri does. There's no one in world football who can do what Rodri does. You see that with Arsenal, and they bought Rice to try and do that.
Yep.
Quickly saw he couldn't do it on his own, and that's why the likes of Jorginho came back in, and now Partey's playing next to him. But hopefully he recovers.
How old is Rodri now?
26, 27?
26.
He's not that old.
So, I mean, he is probably, in his prime, really?
100%.
Which is why he's playing so well.
He's probably up there as Ballon d'Or candidates with Spain winning the Euros.
Yeah, this is true, actually. But what I think, what's going to ruin it a little bit now is the fact that whenever you have these big injuries, because if it is the cruciate ligament and he is out for the rest of the season, this could affect next season as well.
Yeah, the knock-on effect.
Yeah, he's got to try and get back into it.
And also, City won't wait around. I know I've just said you can't replace Rodri, and you can't. But that's the best version of Rodri. Will he ever get back to that if it is a serious knee injury?
This is it. I've seen, there are so many players that you can name that have come back from really bad injuries, and they're just never the same. Reece James's first injury was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Oh, I can't even remember the first one. He's had so many.
But this is the thing. He's now just constantly wrapped through.
Michael Owen going back further.
Yeah.
There's a whole heap of them. But back onto the red card, the juicy bits, the bits everyone wants to hear about. First and foremost, what did you think of it? Did you think it was justifiable? Do you think it's not?
So, from the highlights, you only really see that build up to it. I don't really know what else has gone into it for Michael Oliver to make that decision.
Right. I'll break it down as best I can because I
Yeah.
watched the game. You would have seen it from the highlights anyway, but the justification was that he booked him for delaying a restart, so not necessarily kicking the ball away. So it's a more broader term.
But didn't the PGMOL or whatever they are come out and say that it was for him kicking the ball away?
Yeah. So they've contradicted themselves. That's what I was going to say. But even deeper than that, he's not booked Doku for earlier on doing the same thing. Bernardo Silva dribbles the ball away at one point in the game, delaying a restart. Exactly the same thing. And then you go back to last season when Michael Oliver refed this game and didn't send off.
So this popped up
Kovacic.
to me afterwards, and I saw that he's done exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, timings and everything else different, whatever. But why is it one rule for one rule for another? And I'm not an Arsenal fan. I know Arsenal fans are out there screaming about the fact that it's unfair against them, and every team will always seem like it's unfair. But to be honest, it does feel like Michael Oliver almost has a little bit of a vendetta.
It does, and it gets to a point where it's. At first, I didn't understand where people were moaning about because for me, it's a yellow card. It's a yellow card all day long.
100%.
But when it comes to Michael Oliver and reffing these games, he's meant to be our number one. I'm not sure why he's doing them still. So he came out last year, Howard Webb from PGMOL, or the leader of it, the big boss, came out and said that Michael Oliver didn't send him off, Kovacic at the time, because he didn't want to overreact to an incident to ruin a game of this magnitude.
Okay.
But that's exactly what he's done with the Trossard yellow card, because he's blown
ruined.
the whistle. Yeah, he ruined the game, but I don't want to say overreacting because I don't want to contradict myself. It is a yellow card. But he's blown his whistle, and then I think it's under a second between him blowing his whistle and Trossard kicking the ball. Yeah, on the edge of half time, we've seen the best 45 minutes of football I've seen in a long time in the Premier League.
Well,
I couldn't tell
the
you.
complete opposite that everyone thought it was going to be.
And I know that's not in his mind, that's not his intention to ruin the game.
No, of course not.
But there's officiating and there's over-officiating.
Yeah.
What's the ref there to do? Fundamentally, what's the ref there to do?
Protect the players.
Exactly, protect the players. Who's he protecting by sending off Trossard for kicking the ball away?
No one.
If he doesn't book Trossard there, no one anywhere cares.
No.
But the fact he sent him off has changed the whole dynamic of the game, and I have no doubt that Arsenal would have run out winners in that game because the way the game was going. Arsenal done phenomenally well to come from 1 goal down.
Yeah.
The Rodri injury, I think, sparked a massive shift. And then obviously the Trossard sending off has then flipped it back into City's favour, and we saw the second half that we all expected. Michael Oliver needs to hold his hands up. He needs to take some accountability. He needs to be able to back up why he's done this, because he doesn't have the long list of similar situations where he's been as
consistent.
That's the word. Fucking hell. Surely this means consistent.
Yeah. Or heartbeat.
Yeah, well, I meant consistent, all right?
But no, I 100% agree. Considering, like you say, he's meant to be our best Premier League referee.
Yeah.
Last season, obviously with the Kovacic, he came out and said, "This is why I didn't."
Well, he didn't. The PGMOL did on his behalf because the referees are so protected. It's an absolute joke.
But I think he has to come out and hold his hands up to this and go, "Yes, maybe I overreacted slightly. Yes, it's a yellow card."
Yeah, but it's not. This is where I think we all contradict ourselves a bit, because I'm not saying it's an overreaction because it is a yellow card, but at the same time, you're very quick to pick out that second yellow card.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. Does that mean that every time a player kicks the ball away, it should be a yellow card? Is that every time? Because it doesn't happen. Like, fundamentally doesn't happen.
Well, in the rules, it is. It's if it goes out for foul, throw in.
Because I can understand it more if he's on the edge of the box.
Yeah.
And they're attacking, and even in the attacking third or breaking away, but they're not. No, City weren't breaking away. It was
basically the centre circle.
Exactly. They're not. I don't think there's a massive threat to Arsenal's goal from that position. And then I have a funny feeling that Oliver has in the back of his mind the Arsenal equaliser, where he's called Kyle Walker out of position, or he hasn't called Kyle Walker specifically. There's 4 or 5 City players. They do it all the time, and then he's let them take a free kick where Kyle Walker's out of position.
So Kyle Walker hasn't had the opportunity to get back.
So obviously the City fans were an uproar about that. That's why you see Pep kung fu kicking his chair. I think that's what refs do sometimes. They try and even it up. You see it a lot with like red cards or penalties or decisions in general. You see them, or it seems that way from the public watching. It seems like you're trying to even
from a
up.
neutral spot as well.
Yeah.
Because I do feel that when you are a fan of either team, you will always assume that the ref is against you when these decisions. You don't look back at sort of the rest of the game. Like you've dissected it really well. That in the first half he made that first mistake. Is he making up for it by doing this time? Whereas
you see it all the way down to our level.
For example, actually, I did want to bring this up. Our game this weekend, we won. Yeah, good game.
I threw a paddy.
He did throw a paddy. I wish I had the video evidence.
Yeah, well, I was gonna. We've said before that if either of us come off, we'll get some videos of the game. But I was too busy sulking, so I didn't.
He was. He threw his camera.
Anyway, get your point.
Sorry, yeah. But the game on our game on the weekend, where we got the penalty, and we had a couple of fouls given to us. Now, the referee, obviously, at the level that we are at, they're not quite Premier League, but they're still making the same mistakes. And is that because they are seeing it? Because in the second half, they got so much on the ref's back. He started giving us things that I don't even think we should have got.
Exactly, yeah.
Like that foul that you got away with.
Oh, when I basically...
You had those 2 players, you managed to get round them both.
Yeah.
And you dragged one of them back.
Yeah, I like jumped on his back.
Yeah.
And he didn't give a free kick.
He didn't do anything. Yeah. And you got their liner screaming.
Yeah. No, but you're right. It does make you wonder that at all levels, refs obviously are affected by players and people being in their face, even with the protection that professional referees have. Are they professional? I don't know. But even at that level, they still have a certain level of protection. They know they're not going to get hurt.
Of course.
They're not really going to get hurt at our level. But I do really question, and I do think that plays a factor in decisions. Yeah. Because you hear all the time about managers leading into it, don't get into the ref back. But also on the flip side, City are very well known for surrounding the ref, but getting away with it, and no one else seems to.
No.
Like similarly, on the opposite end of the scale, Arsenal seems to be the only ones getting punished for kicking the ball away at the minute. And this is from a neutral. I'm not an Arsenal fan.
No.
In fact, I pray for their demise, much like Chelsea.
Okay.
But,
I don't want Chelsea again.
But we're not talking about Chelsea this week.
No.
But from a neutral standpoint, it does seem like every opportunity to punish an Arsenal player for doing any such thing as kicking the ball away.
Anything that the ref can get away with telling. Yeah. So I say telling them off, but punishing them for anything, they will do it. Whereas there are other teams that it does feel that they get away with it a lot more.
It's a strange one. It's a strange dynamic to try and see inside the mind of a referee. First of all, the one in charge of the game, why he's done it, and then secondly, Howard Webb, who I'm assuming dishes out his referees to games. I don't think the Premier League picked them. Why he's put him in the position to be at the centre of attention again for the wrong reasons, because he's never going to have a perfect game. In that cauldron where eyes are constantly on you after last season, it is nigh on impossible to get every decision right. And he didn't have a bad game apart from this.
Yeah, I mean, does it come down to the fact that because he is seen as the Premier League best referee, that they go, right, although the Premier League doesn't choose what games he goes to, they think the highest caliber games need to have the highest caliber referees. In my head, I feel that they've chosen Michael Oliver because he's meant to be the best,
rather than him actually being the best.
Yeah.
So they go, same as Mike Riley. For a large period of time, he was seen as the best, but when you actually digested Mike Riley and watched his games, he was just strict. Yeah. And he made it all about him, which is what I feel Michael Oliver's now doing.
Do you feel like Michael Oliver's gone past the level of... Because you've got referees. But Michael Oliver, has he now stepped into, I am the Premier League referee?
The arrogant side of it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's got to play a part, because you see it in certain interactions with players, like the way he presents himself. And yes, you've got to be an authoritarian, authoritative figure.
Authoritative figure, yeah.
So you have to assume the position of being in charge some way.
Yeah,
and I do understand
to make your mark on the game.
And none of them are particularly like big in stature, so you can't just stand up and be.
You can't
tall.
look intimidating.
Exactly.
You just have to be not intimidating. Intimidating is probably not the right word.
No, but it's the right. It's the wrong word, but it's the right
idea.
The right word at the wrong.
At the end
word.
of the day, the players should be scared. Not scared, but the players
should respect him.
Yeah, they should respect that. If he is calling you over for something bad, you should be.
And that's where I feel the game is gone again. Leading into what we said the last couple of weeks, is that there's no respect for referees, and whether it's just or not, it's fundamentally down to the fact that they aren't very good.
No,
they couldn't have more opportunity to get things right.
Obviously, as you all know, I am a Watford fan, so
there you go.
Championship,
once every week, you'll bring up Watford minimum.
I will. I don't really want to bring them up this week, to be fair.
Oh yeah, you lost them.
No, I don't want to talk about. Anyway, so in the Championship, we don't have VAR. Which, yes, I get really annoyed because I see a simple mistake and I think, like, from the referee.
When it's in your favour.
Yeah. But VAR now, with them being able to correct these mistakes, they aren't correcting mistakes, a lot of them. Like, don't get me wrong, they get a lot right, but they also, I feel, still get a lot wrong. And yet, now it just draws our attention more to it.
Yeah.
It's now not a case of, it happened last week, we forget about it. It's now in your face,
because you have the still images, you have video after video evidence of the mistake,
the curve in the VAR line.
It's exactly. Well, it's great from a football fan's perspective because it keeps you entertained for a week in between the games,
just in between VAR checks, isn't it?
Exactly. Until it affects your team.
Yeah.
But it's. Just going back to the respect thing, we'll move on to our next game shortly. But I just want to touch on the fact that obviously Arsenal fans are going to be gutted about the way that they conceded and fundamentally lost points.
Yeah.
But I personally, based off that game alone, I really fancy Arsenal to do it this year, and it's the first time I've said it. Like, they looked really good.
So, to break that down for everyone, you feel that Arsenal could win it this year?
They could. They won't, but they could.
You're scared because we're going to clip that.
I think it's their best opportunity. I think they're closer now than what they'll ever be, and if they don't do it this season, they never will. Actually,
really?
I stand by that. They never will.
I personally still feel that Arteta is still growing.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Pep has many years of experience and many years of success. Arteta worked underneath him, so I still feel he's quite youthful in his managerial sort of status.
Oh, well, he is. He's still in his early 40s.
And I could I potentially see him as being sort of Pep Guardiola's level, like, of success? Potentially. Do I see it at Arsenal? We'll see, won't we?
Yeah, see, I think that we can agree on that. I don't think he's going to have the tenure at Arsenal that Arsene Wenger had, or even that Pep's had at City. I do think he'll go on to bigger things. And that's going to upset people. But Arsenal fundamentally aren't at the top table like they used to be. They're not with your Bayern Munichs, your Real Madrid, your Barcelonas, your Man
I feel
Cities.
even Barcelona have fallen off that a little bit.
Yeah, but Barcelona's Barcelona.
Yeah, you're not going to... Yeah.
Like you say, it's nowhere near what it used to be. They're going through hella financial troubles through their own decisions. And
bad decisions.
Yeah. But they're still Barcelona, whereas...
They've still got the big funding behind them, things like that.
The fan base. They've got worldwide fan base. And I know Arsenal do as well, don't get me wrong. It wouldn't take much to get them back to the top table. But at the minute they're not. I think
they need success.
Yeah, I think anyone affiliated with Arsenal right now could have their head turned by a bigger team.
Yeah.
And I don't see that at Man City. Even at Man City, to be fair, Real Madrid come calling, Barcelona come calling, Gundogan left for Barcelona. The only reason he's back is because they couldn't pay his wages. But moving on, we'll lean into that respect thing. We'll go to the other game that was on Sunday.
Okay, the Brighton Forest.
Yep, Brighton Forest finished 2-2 again. When was the last time? This is an actual... I don't know the answer to this. I've just thought of it. So, if anyone anyone knows the answer to this, please let us know. Because I'm not going to Google it because I can't be bothered. But
I'll probably forget to Google it by the time I get home.
When was the last time we had a Super Sunday that was actually super and 2 good games? Like 2 good games.
Probably before they named it Super Sunday.
So obviously Forest 2, Brighton 2. Very good game to watch. Forest is still unbeaten.
Do you know what?
Who would have seen that?
I wouldn't
No.
I'll be honest. When I saw Brighton versus Forest this weekend, I 100% would have put money on.
Was it on Super 6?
It was.
It was on Super 6. Neither of us got that right.
No.
I've had an absolute mare. You were 1 goal off, like smashing it.
Basically, if City didn't equalise.
Who had Arsenal to win?
I did.
2-1 at City. No one did. You don't watch football.
No, I'm sorry.
And this is what pisses me off, right? He doesn't watch football. He's smashing me in Super 6. If he'd done FPL, he'd probably be smashing me in that as well. So I'm going to be the knowledgeable one. I don't know fuck all.
I'm just good. Look, my thought process for the Arsenal one, and we'll go back onto the Forest game in a minute, is that I feel that Arsenal want it more than City at the moment. City...
But City is City.
Yeah, I get City is City, but they don't have home advantage because it's the empty head. It doesn't matter to them. They play well wherever they go. It's just about if Arsenal go there and play better.
It's not everywhere City go is a fortress. Yeah. Like there's records that City make at every stadium.
Of course.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I hear
Bridge
that.
Road being one of them.
London
they
Stadium.
love to kill us.
Yeah, same. They always score loads against us as well.
But yeah, so Super 6, I always just go a little bit more controversial than Mike. He's very touchy about it.
No, I'm not. You're not going to tell people about that. But yeah, Super 6. I don't know what our code is. There's a code.
So it's not a code. You just search for the Sunday League Effect and you can join our league. If you feel that you are more knowledgeable than Mike but are still going to lose to me,
you could be more knowledgeable than me. Actually, no. I don't think you will be, but you'll still beat me.
Yeah, I think you just have to be brave enough to put some of the answers that nobody wants to.
Yeah, I'm going to let my kids pick this week and see how we go on.
Watch, you'll
probably
you'll get the 250 grand. Watch it.
Watch.
And we'll still record on a potato.
Yep.
I will not see any of that money.
Stay true to our.
Why change it now?
Yeah, we're here now.
That's it.
We're getting some people watching, not many, but some.
So 3 red cards.
Yeah, so it was another yellow card. This one wasn't dubious as far as I'm concerned. It's reckless. He's coming at speed from an angle, Morgan Gibbs-White, taking him out. Second yellow card. But this is where I was talking about the lack of respect. He's then, I can't remember who the referee was, but he's the picture of his face, but he does it all the time, Morgan Gibbs-White. I like Morgan Gibbs-White, but he's a very emotional player.
Yeah.
And he comes right up to the 4th official and he says something along the lines of, I'm lip reading, but he said something along the lines of, that was fucking shit twice now. You've done it. And he said the same to the ref. And then Nuno, the manager, has said the same to the ref like multiple times. I think he's gone like 3 fucking times you've done this. 3 fucking times. He's got a red. Fuck knows why the Brighton manager got sent off, but he did as well. I have no idea why the Brighton manager got sent off.
Probably just kicking off because Nuno was kicking off.
But he looked calm. Yeah. But I don't. He must have said something to the 4th official, but I don't know what he did say that could have warranted a red card.
Was it during the same incident?
Yeah, all the same incident. And the 2 managers got straight reds. Nuno's for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Hers blah blah. Can't say his name. That might not even be what it begins in.
I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
Because I know I can't say it.
He's only 31. He's younger than us.
Younger than you.
How old are you?
31.
Yeah, he's younger than you. He only just turned yesterday.
I only turned
yesterday. Anyway, it was a good game, and people, myself included, have slept on Forest this year. I thought Forest would really struggle, but their squad depth is very good. Again, their subs came on like they did against Liverpool and made a difference. And they could have won it at the end, but a very good squad, very good manager. I've always liked Nuno. Boring, but very good manager.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Never a right fit for Tottenham. Shouldn't have gone.
I mean, I 100% agree with that. But I'm the same. I have slept on Forest, not expecting them to be anywhere further than the relegation zone, really, fighting for their place. I mean, they stayed up last year, probably by the skin of their teeth, really.
I can't remember, but I know it was a relegation battle.
They were down there.
Cooper, didn't they? So
yeah,
Nuno only came in last year.
That's it. They were down for a very long time, and I thought that was it. They were joining us down in the Championship. But now they look like they're starting to fight with the big boys.
Having a good start to the season is so fundamentally important for any team. Yeah. You can recover from a bad start, but if you look back over the years, teams that unsuspectedly have good starts normally do all right.
Yeah.
Look, the main one that comes out in my mind is the first year Huddersfield came up.
Yeah.
No one expected them to get any points. They had a sublime first 6 months of the season, and they were in the top half, and then they fell off a cliff. But they had performances in the bank, the points on the table early on, when other teams were still finding out their play style for the year or new players in
just trying to find like the gel together, isn't it?
So I think I'm not saying the league's so strong this year. The top like 8-10 teams are so strong that a few years ago I would probably put them as an outside chance of getting like Europe, but because there's so many good teams, like you got Brighton who are going to get better, Villa are going to be there, Newcastle are going to be there, Tottenham, Chelsea. None of them teams are getting Champions League, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Aston Villa maybe, and then below that you've still got, I'll throw us in there even though we've been fucking horrific, West Ham, Palace again haven't had a good start, Fulham look very good. There's so many teams that have looked good and have spent well and started well, but Forest are right up there, and a lot of credit has to go to Nuno.
I wouldn't rule them out for
top 10.
Top 10.
I think top 10, 11 is a good shout.
I think European football might be a bit of a push for their first sort of. I mean,
only because of the calibre of other teams that are still in the league.
Yeah, there are so many good teams in the Premier League now that anybody that gets mid-table should look at that as semi-successful.
Yeah, it should be top 10. Top 10 should be an achievement, and would be an achievement for any of those teams that I've just listed, aside from your Tottenhams, Chelseas, the Villas, and probably Newcastle. They have aspirations to finish higher.
3 red cards. The way that they were with the fourth official, with the ref, I personally agree with you with the lack of respect. It's almost like players are getting paid so well that they've gone above themselves and now think that they can talk to people like that.
It's like a spoiled kid in a supermarket throwing a tantrum when his mum says, no, you can't have a sweet. And it's petulance. And petulance is something that should be stamped out of the game. Like, you don't see it in rugby. Rugby is the most violent sport that we have in our country. And the respect they show refs should be what's in football. They approach a ref and they call him sir.
Yeah. Do you know what I think the difference is there? The referees in rugby are a lot more open.
Well, they're mic'd up, so they don't hide things. Yeah.
Every decision they make,
they explain it.
Yeah. The problem you've got with referees nowadays, in
football.
Yeah, in football. Sorry, from all levels, there's no explanation.
They don't have to, and they take the arrogant side of because I said so.
I've told you that, and it's almost like that people suddenly go, well, they're not going to be open and honest with me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, fuck them.
Like, I'll talk to them however I want. If we went into games with the thought process of this person is in charge, we will listen to it. But they don't. They go into games thinking my manager's in charge, I'll do whatever I want. So they don't ever think about the repercussions of basically being a dick.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. They don't have the respect for referees like they used to. It's very easy for them to go, well, it's because of the ref.
Yeah.
The only reason this happens is because of it. They don't like to blame their own players.
Yeah, well, fundamentally, Morgan gives White's tackle is horrific.
Yeah.
It's a yellow card. I mean, it's not horrific. It's a yellow card all day long, and he's already booked.
Yeah.
So just swallow your pill. And he got the ball. Yeah, he got the ball. But just because you got the ball doesn't mean it's not a foul. Just on Forest, I think they've had a great start. I expected Brighton to win. Brighton have had a good start as well.
Yeah. And I sort of expect that from Brighton though.
But when they got rid of De Zerbi and got Haaland in,
yeah, him.
I was a bit dubious, and
Dubois.
Yeah, I was a bit Dubois, and thought that they'd struggle, but they're doing really well. And long may it continue.
That's what you want, because they could be the games that actually, when it comes down to the title race, like last year, that game that the underdog, I suppose you could call them,
does it play a part? Speaking on title challenges, are Chelsea in the title race?
No.
Very quick.
Yeah.
So obviously we played Chelsea this weekend. I say played, we didn't turn up. Our defence. I'm not going to talk too much about West Ham because
you let Chelsea train on your pitch.
Yeah, exactly. Our defending was elementary. The first goal is just dreadful. The third goal, 1 minute into the second half, is sacrilege. It's atrocious, but we won't touch on West Ham too much because I want to focus on Chelsea and what they're doing well. Because I give them a lot of stick, and I give Maresca a lot of stick because he's sort of fallen into this job and I thought he was a puppet.
Yeah.
But the results and the performances speak for themselves. They look very good. The players that he's got playing for him, he's got his system. He seems to know what he wants to do.
And he seems to be able to include the players.
Yeah.
Which
Jackson started every game, and he's played well, and he started scoring 2 good goals against us.
Yeah.
Palmer scored again.
Yeah.
Great. Madueke and Sancho both involved in goals. Great. Enzo dominated midfield, a player that I give a lot of stick to because I don't particularly rate him. Had a good game.
I think his cost doesn't help.
Yeah.
It was very expensive, and it doesn't seem like he's actually come out and done anything with it.
Yeah. What I'd love to be talking about in this game, if it was a closer game, and the stats, if you look at the stats, suggest it was closer than the scoreline. And it probably was. We gifted goals. I'd love to be talking about the fact we should have had a penalty that wasn't given. It was a Stonewall penalty, but I just don't care. It just doesn't matter because we were 2-0 down at the time because of the poor defending, which, by the way, the poor defending has been in place for well over a year.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with just Lopetegui. But what is to do with Lopetegui is the fact that he's picking that fucking dosser, Mavropanos, over to Debo. I said I wouldn't talk about it. I'm sorry, I see you smiling. I'll brush over it. But
this is why I'm glad Watford are in the Championship. We don't touch on that.
Maresca is doing a good job. Very little experience. I touched on it last week. Second managerial job, but you can see that he's worked under Pep and he's worked under Pellegrini. He was actually at West Ham under Pellegrini. I didn't know that.
Okay.
He's getting the best out of that Chelsea squad, and for me personally, I would put them in the top 4 race if they carry on where they're at.
Yeah,
I think they're a way off.
I was going to say that obviously when you asked me about if they're in it for the title, I don't think they are. Yes, they are a stronger team. They seem to be gelling better together, even with the amount of players that they do have to try and gel with. I would say top 6. I don't think they're going to make top 4 this season.
You think Villa's their biggest rival?
I would, maybe not Villa. Probably actually, yeah. I would say.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Villa's probably their biggest rival for that 4th spot. I think Newcastle are well off. Just going back to Chelsea, I think that they'll get that 4th spot. I really do. If they carry on the way that they're going, they're only going to go from strength to strength. They've got a young squad.
They've got a full squad. They've got a lot of depth.
They're not going to be bogged down by European football too much because it's the Conference League, which, let's be honest, like we said before, they could win with their under 18s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it'll be good. It'll be good if you were here for the first week to get your league predictions, but I had to do it on my own. So then next year when we come back to it, we're just gonna. Well, to be fair, it wasn't meant to be you.
It wasn't meant to be me, actually. Yeah. So I was subbed in, and now I'm getting the blame for not being here. Right, okay.
Yeah, of course you are. We'll brush over a few more games. We're not going to go into too much depth of all of them. We'll go straight to Old Trafford. No, Crystal Palace. It was Selhurst Park.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't that?
Should have been a red card for Martinez. Did you see it?
I didn't see that.
2-footed jump into the player.
I did.
Horrendous.
I saw.
Absolutely
I think
horrendous.
someone shared it, saying something about it being one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was horrendous. It wasn't that. It wasn't.
I was going to say that's a bit dramatic, but that's Twitter for you.
Yeah, it was dreadful. United looked good, didn't score. Looked very good for 60 minutes.
Yeah,
and they were by far the better team. But last 20, 25 maybe, Palace created a lot of chances. Anana made a great double save. Your old boy Ismail Assar came on and looked very good.
Was he still quick?
Yeah, well, for some reason they took Mateta off at half time down the middle, and Keita started, pulled him at half time whether it was injury or not, brought on Sarr. So you'd assume Keita would go in the middle and Sarr would go out wide.
Yeah.
No, you put Sarr through the middle.
Really?
And Keita stayed out wide. Yeah, it was a strange one, but he played very well, and Keita looked very good as well.
Yeah.
And Eze should have scored. It for 10 yards out, middle of the box, puts it wide. But Anana made a great double save.
Yeah?
Yeah, to keep him in it. Not from that shot, I can't remember who it was, but the ball's come to him. The first save's okay.
Sort of straight at him.
Yeah, but he done what Anana does all the time. He doesn't get it clear. He makes a lot of saves, but he pushes it back.
It's almost like he flaps.
Yeah. So
he's like, oh, I've saved it, but don't know what to do with it.
Exactly. So the only reason that he's able to make the second wonder save is because of his inability to get the ball clear after the first save.
Yeah.
But it was a very good save. dull as dishwater game. I watched the extended highlights at work today, and my God, I wasn't tired, but after that, fuck.
You were tired.
Yeah.
Imagine if you watched the game, you'd have a great nap.
Did I watch it? Yeah, that's the game I should watch.
I don't think Palace have done that well at the start of the season.
No, they haven't at all.
I feel like they're struggling a little bit.
I think they've got the things in place to start hitting form. I don't think their summer helped them. I think they were preparing for life without Gerhi.
Yeah.
Then they sold Anderson, so then they rushed in a centre-back to partner Gerhi, and then he stayed. He's their captain. It seemed like a lot of uncertainty around Palace at the summer, and it's now eaten into their start to the season, much like West Ham's, to be honest.
Yeah.
They'll come good. I've no doubt that they'll come good. They've got a very good manager and a very good squad.
Unai Emery came out, and it really confused me. So hopefully there'll be some Villa fans that see this and sort of make a bit more sense to it. But he's come out saying that he thinks his players didn't know how they were playing.
Yeah, they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, like he's come out and said that before he made all the changes, his team basically didn't know the style of play that they were playing. Now, I agree that Emery's a great manager, but that seems strange to me that he would come out and say that his players didn't know basically the way that he plays.
I don't want to lean into it being a language barrier thing, but I think it might be. I think
Do you reckon that's what it is?
Yeah, I think he more means not that they don't understand what he's trying to do. They didn't adapt to the way the other team were playing well enough, so they struggled. Is what I think he probably meant.
That would make a lot more sense because it confused me so much. But I mean, at the end of the interview, he does come out and say that the way that they managed to get back into this game and win it comfortably was down to their psychological changes more than their actual physical on the pitch changes. It was their mentality that changed, that won it. That's what he's come out and said, not me.
And I do agree with that to a certain degree, but I think having the calibre of players on the bench that he brought on makes a massive difference.
He's got depth.
So he brought on Ian Maatson, Leon Bailey, Ross Barkley and John Duran.
Yeah. John Duran is...
terrible, I know. No?
No, John Duran is not terrible. He...
better than Ollie Watkins, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
Someone
maybe.
back me up. Anyone back me up. I know Watkins has started scoring. I still stand by it, and I am never going to change my mind. John Duran will be starting... Why do you keep saying this? Not an echo in here. John Duran will be starting over Watkins by the end of the season. Nick's a Duran fan. Name 4 songs.
I can name none.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not going to lie and say I watched much of this game.
That's because you hate Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, I don't like Villa. I don't like their accent. Brummie accent it grates on me. Like my accent probably grates on a lot of people as well. Like I've got to play it with both. Play it with both sides.
Do you have an accent?
Yeah, like common. Ours is common.
We are common, aren't we?
We'll talk about Fulham beating Newcastle.
Shock. But then again, actually, not with how Newcastle have started this season.
And the way Fulham have started as well. Fulham
have come out. They have come out swinging.
I tweeted this on Sunday, but is this version of Adama Traore the version that Spain raved about, or the version that La Masia produced? Because he has always been a player. Just his final product is basically he started the season phenomenally.
He has
doing what he does best, beating players and creating havoc,
using his physical strength.
But then at the end of the havoc, there's been goals or goal chances created, which is what he's always missed.
Because he missed that at Wolves, didn't he?
Yeah, he's still only like 28. He's not old. Like, so he's still got like a good 5 seasons.
Why does he look like he's 40?
Because he's always looked like that.
That's what I mean. I feel like he's always just looked really old. Like I'm not very good when it comes to players.
Shock.
Like ages.
Shock.
Sorry, I don't read their biographies.
You should. Again, we have a football podcast. It's your job.
I'm not reading
now. It's your unpaid job.
My unpaid.
Job in a really hard industry to do the background work. But yeah, Newcastle are abject again. And I want to touch on Harvey Barnes, because Harvey Barnes has been a little ray of light for Newcastle in these, I don't want to say bleak times, because they're probably sixth from the first 4 games. Yeah, but they do. I mean, bleak times in terms of performances. I said that the performances will either get better and they'd suit the points that they're getting, or the points would start to match the performances. Yeah. After that performance, it looks like it's going the latter.
Yeah.
Gordon's really struggling. Isak is struggling, but they need another centre back. Fabian Schär next to Dan Burn just doesn't work.
No, I agree. And touching on the Gordon thing as well. When in the Nations League, I know international football is not all we want to talk about.
I didn't watch it, so I can't even.
But I actually thought Gordon looked alright. I think he looked.
Gordon
like
is a good player.
But what I don't get is he looked like he played really well. So I don't understand why he's struggling.
Well, he had a good season last year.
Yeah.
And he was linked with a massive move to Liverpool this summer.
So do you feel maybe that's affected him?
I don't know what it is. I'm personally not over excited by the prospect of Gordon. I don't see what he brings. I don't think his goal contribution is high enough for the amount he's rated.
Yeah.
As a winger, you need assists and goals, and yeah, he might have quite a few assists, but I don't think his goal input's enough.
No. His chance created isn't quite what it should be.
I think he's a better footballer than Harvey Barnes, but Harvey Barnes excites me more.
Okay.
You're the one saying we should be a couple. But I mean, probably Newcastle fans would to tell me more. Either tell me to do one or agree with me, but it doesn't really matter. This is my opinion from an outside perspective.
They can cry about it all they want up there.
Yeah. So.
But no, I hear what you're saying. Harvey Barnes does seem like a more excitable player
and obviously they both play off the left.
Yeah.
I just think he's more effective at cutting in and scoring, which is what he's done last 2 games.
Yeah. But I mean, he's young though, isn't he?
I don't think he's that young. Like, he looks quite young, but I think he's about 26, 27.
Okay,
Gordon's younger.
So maybe it's more Gordon needs to grow into the game more because he's mature a bit more.
What I'd like to see is both of them in the team.
Yeah.
Put one on the right. I don't know who started for them. They might have both started at the weekend, in fairness. But I don't rate Jacob Murphy. He's not a Premier League footballer. He might have had a good pre-season and he might be a good workhorse. He's a squad player at best.
Okay.
But then if you put them both on the right, they're both right-footed and they both want to cut in, so they're going to struggle. You're going to have a similar problem to what we have when we try and put Bowen on the left or Kudus on the left because they're both left-footed and want to cut in.
Yeah.
They just can't do it.
They always want to go with their stronger foot going in. Of course.
But it's something to definitely watch this season. But I think it's coming, and I think hard times are coming for Newcastle personally with the way that they're playing.
I don't think they're quite the quality of what they were when they first got that massive investment of oil money.
When Eddie Howe came in.
Yeah.
Howe? Is Eddie Howe?
Eddie Howe.
I just like saying Howe.
I personally thought that this season, because this is what their second season with all that money?
Third, I think.
Third, is it? I thought they would be looking at becoming more like a Man City.
The PSR ruling and FFP has stopped them doing that this summer.
Did that stop Man City?
No, but it came in place after Man City.
Yeah, of course.
I'd rather them just be like fucking Newcastle, spend what you want, catch them up, and then we'll bring them back in. Because you've let one team do it, and now it's fucked the rest of the leagues. They can't catch them unless you already have a massive revenue stream like Liverpool or United or Arsenal, Chelsea. They could do
Chelsea
it.
do it though.
Give them 40-year contracts. Yeah, I want to give Russell Martin a little bit more credit because after 5 games winless,
he's still there.
Yeah, but no. But this is what I mean. There'll be a lot of sack talk flying around.
There is.
Because when newly promoted teams, it always happens. And I said that Southampton might be the first to pull the trigger a few weeks back because of the style of play and because Russell Martin isn't particularly affiliated with all the fans. I just want to... It's too early. It's too early to sack a manager. I'd love to be wrong. I don't think I will be.
Yeah.
But give him time because they were very good against Ipswich. It was only due to a 90-plus minute deflection that Ipswich equalised. And Southampton looked good. They created chances. Cameron Archer looked very good. Their young lad, I can't remember his name, Diblin, scored his first goal for him. So they've got a very good... They've got parts of a good squad.
Yeah.
A good team.
Maybe a bit more investment, a bit more...
Time. They need time.
To sort of gel together with the manager.
Yeah. This is... Sorry, just before I forget, because I will forget. I'm tired. Football's all about perception.
Yeah.
It's a massive perception game, and the perception of Ipswich is that they've had a double promotion, McKenna's on his way up because of this. He's playing this great style of football that's got them promoted twice, correct?
Correct.
Southampton have also come up. They're both winless, yet the perception for McKenna in an isolated season, no one's questioning him, but everyone's questioning Russell Martin. It's funny how football works.
It's almost like Ipswich are the underdogs that everyone wants to win.
Yeah.
Southampton are
But
the
Ipswich finished
underdogs.
above Southampton.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be.
No, but I think Southampton are just a team that everyone likes to want to go down.
Well, they are just they are the embodiment of a yo-yo team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then West Brom, Watford, unfortunately.
Even saying with the perception thing, that's why in my head I was like, I'm sure Ipswich has won. But actually, it's just the perception that I think that they should have
Exactly.
won.
The performances again for Ipswich have been dogged and good.
Yeah.
Very different to Southampton. Southampton on opposite end of the scale. They've tried to win games.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Ipswich haven't, but Ipswich have done much more a David Moyes thing, which is we're not going to lose.
Yeah.
We're going to try our best not to lose.
That's it. We'll draw this.
Yeah.
Like,
And fundamentally, if you draw 38 games a season, you'll stay up.
I mean, yeah.
They can't because they've lost 2, but
Yeah.
you never know. They'll probably
36 points.
I think 34 points is probably easily enough to stay up this season because I can't see.
I don't actually know if that's quite right. I feel that because of the higher caliber of teams that we have now.
Yeah.
I feel that I mean, obviously there is obviously a limit that you can't go any higher.
There's like sub leagues in the league now.
Yeah.
Like you have the top 4, maybe 5. Then you have the next 4 or 5.
The 5 to 10.
Yeah. And then you have a middle section which is safe. Your likes of Bournemouth. I'm going to throw West Ham in there. Palace because we're just shit.
Yeah.
Even Wolves. Wolves will come good in my opinion. They won't be in a relegation battle. And then you've got the 3 relegated teams and Everton.
Yeah.
3 promoted teams and Everton. They're a subsection to the rest of the league.
Everton as well. Like it's again, we didn't touch on their game because it was dog shit. But they
Throw a lead away again. Touch on that.
Yeah, but I don't really expect anything different.
No.
It just seems to be that's what happened. I don't know what's happened to Everton ever since they had that points reduction. They were already on their way down anyway.
Yeah.
And then they had the points reduction. What last season, season 4?
Last season.
And they just never recovered.
And they had it redacted as well, but they looked good at parts last season. But I don't know.
It's early on.
Yeah.
It might change, but
Yeah. So just moving on to the last 2 games quickly. We spoke about every game. I didn't think we'd do this.
no, I didn't
But,
think we'd do this. But you just like talking to me.
Yeah, I do. To be fair, no one else listens.
Yeah.
But Liverpool beat Liverpool beat Bournemouth.
Shock.
Bournemouth looked good. I think Iraola and Kepa have a lot of work to do because Kepa, up until the first goal, was very good and made some very good saves, shown why he was classed as a top-class keeper in large periods. But then, at the flip of a coin, he's shown everyone why he's at Bournemouth and not at Chelsea anymore. His rash decision to come out against Diaz cost him the goal.
Yeah.
And probably the game.
But he's quite well known for those
Exactly,
sort of decisions.
exactly.
Like,
So-
it's almost like he's not matured in that to think.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, they were
probably should do that.
Iraola and Kepa were together at Bilbao, so he was the manager that sold Kepa to Chelsea for the world record goalkeeper fee, whatever it
Got
was.
rid of him. Fantastic.
Yeah, so
Like that.
he knows how to work with him. He knows what his pros and cons are.
Yeah.
And Bournemouth will be a good team to watch this year. They'll be much like Brighton. I think they're very good going forward. Got a very, very good manager. He'll be onwards and upwards into great things. And Liverpool has just shown that it's just a flash in the pan against Forest. It's also almost adjudicated Forest's win more.
Yeah.
The fact that they bounce back like this.
Absolutely. And I think what a lot of Liverpool fans left the Forest game thinking we played really poor. Instead of thinking actually Forest played really well.
Well, even the outside perspective was the same.
Yeah. But again, perspective in football, you assume that Liverpool are going to win these games. You assume that if they don't win it, it's because they've had a bad game. You never think, it's because they had a good game.
Yeah. But Liverpool were very good. They bounced back. Arne Slot showing that he has the capability to get the players back on side. And yes, it was only Bournemouth, but you can only beat who's in front of you.
Oh, 100%. And a lot of teams get dragged down to that level, especially like if they go down or anything like that.
Yeah. Speaking of going down, Tottenham conceded in the first minute the earliest goal scored this season, I think.
Yeah.
good goal, but didn't really affect Tottenham. They came out and ran out deserved winners.
Tottenham had that capability.
Yeah, I'd throw them in the same sort of pot as Chelsea. They're just a few steps behind, I think, in terms of getting it together under Ange. Because once Ange ball clicks, it clicks, and it will. As long as I stick with him. But there's rumours swelling about Ange. Again, arrogance. He is a bit arrogant.
But we touched on that last week.
Yeah, you need that as a manager. I don't think you would have seen it because no one's really talking about it. They touched on the match of the day, but I've not seen much floating around. But Vicario handballed it outside the box.
So I have seen this actually, and I've looked at it, and VAR.
Yeah.
I mean, I am not paid by the PGMO, whatever.
Pugamo.
The Pugamo. But I don't need glasses to see that he has handballed that outside of the box.
When did that become not a straight red card?
I don't know. Why was it not?
Honestly, I have no idea. So if someone can clear this up for me, because I'm not searching the internet for a description.
As far as I'm aware, if you are handling it as outside of the box, as a goalkeeper, outside of the box, it is a red card.
Straight red.
Because you are manipulating the game
unfairly. You're cheating.
Absolutely. It's almost like me stopping a goal going in by catching it with my hands.
Yeah. It was just odd. So if anyone knows why that was not penalised properly...
Nothing was done with it.
It was nothing.
No, it's from the clips I've seen. I might be wrong. It might go a little bit further and it actually gets called back. But I think I've seen like a 5-second clip of him touching it, pushing it away, running and kicking it. And from that clip that I've seen of it...
Yeah.
Nothing. It doesn't get pulled back.
Strange.
The VAR do nothing about it.
Did you see Haaland after the goal? Throw the ball at Gabriel's head. Being able to rile up Man City as much as what they did, even with Bernardo Silva's comments after the game. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, gratification that you're doing something right because you're clearly under their skin. Because Haaland's reacted like that. Then he said to Arteta after the game, be humble.
Yeah.
Unnecessary. I don't know what happened there. Bernardo Silva's come out of the game and said something along the lines of, Arsenal haven't won a Premier League. Well, they have.
Yeah.
But I think what he meant is they haven't won it in recent years whilst Pep's been there and his Premier League, Bernardo Silva's tenure. And he said, at least when Liverpool were challenging, we both played the games to win. And it was a massive shot at Arsenal.
Yeah.
And you don't see that from a Pep player, ever.
No.
And there's two instances there, or two players, that you don't see anything like that normally from. You see a little bit of pushing and shoving from Haaland, but...
I definitely agree that I think Man City have come out of that absolutely rattled by it. The
shithouser in the second half was just beautiful.
Yeah.
If you're an Arsenal fan, you're loving that second half.
Yeah.
And restricted City and forced Diaz to have more of the ball than anyone, and he can't be your creative outlet. When Foden came on, he didn't make a difference. Like, they did a phenomenal job up until the goal.
Yeah. And I also think that you touched on this a couple of weeks ago about Arteta Masterclass, and I was a bit dubious. Dubois. And I thought, yes, he's good. Is he Masterclass yet? Wouldn't have said so. But actually, considering that one, you rattle City, the best team in the Premier League in the world, on top of that, you managed to hold them with 10 men till the, 90-something minute, wasn't it? 96th minute.
95th, 96th, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're getting Fergie time as City, which is weird. So is it Pep time now? But
sounds like a pizza.
It does. I am hungry. Anyway, as I was saying, it's... Arsenal fans should come away with that really grateful.
Yeah, they should. It's definitely a point gained, not 2 points lost. Even though the equaliser at the time it happened, I think they should focus on the positives, which far outweigh the negatives. I don't know what just flew off my mic, but something did.
It's probably you touched yourself a bit again.
Yeah, probably. Sorry. Just can't help it. When you're talking, it just...
Oh, don't. I'm not involved in this. But no, you are right. They should take away a lot of the positives from this and not think of it as 2 points lost, but a point gained, because you are still in with a title fight. You are going to be their biggest rivals, and it was. You also proved all the neutrals wrong. Everybody,
a lot. Not everybody. There are a few that fancy Arsenal outliers, but.
Oh no, I meant about the snooze fest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Everyone expected this game to be boring.
100%.
And you went for Arsenal. They went 1-0 down, came back to.
No one does that against City the way they did it. No one.
And especially not... I mean, it's the empty head, but they came up to 2-1
Deservedly at the time as well.
How can Bernardo Silva come out and say that Liverpool
Yeah,
want to win it?
it was baffling.
Arsenal went to win it, but you scored it in the 96th minute. So
it wasn't a smash. It was only a smash and grab, or so it seemed, because of the red card.
Yeah.
Like, again, the perception of the game can be very deceiving. Havertz didn't complete a parcel game. He had a good game.
See that.
Arsenal didn't have a shot in the second half. They had 10 men.
Yeah.
And it's against arguably the best ball possession team ever.
You're not going to have that shot.
Exactly.
You are defending. That's it.
The perception of the stats will tell a different story to the reality of the game.
Yeah.
But speaking of a game, actually, I'll talk about our giveaway quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So we are offering one of our subscribers, or is it two? Two of our subscribers.
Two.
The opportunity to come and watch us play and have our first Saturday League match day vlog. We were going to do one, but we thought we'd share it with some subscribers. We're going to do that at the end of the month. So if you'd like the opportunity of winning that, subscribe to the channel and let us know in one of the videos with a comment that you've subscribed, and we'll do a draw at the end of the month and hopefully get two of you guys down to watch us play and spend the afternoon with us.
Absolutely. Beers are on mic.
Did you do a little quiz or something for the end for me?
I did, actually.
Right.
So this one is... I thought I'd start off really easy this week.
Okay.
We'll
see how easy it is.
The idea is I'm going to give you a letter.
Right.
And the question will be something to do with either the team or the player. I need you to either give me the team names, a certain amount of them within a certain amount of time.
With that letter.
With that letter.
Okay.
Or
a player.
The player.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to start with player this week. And I'm going to start it easy. I told you I was going to start
easy.
So look less panicked.
How long do I have?
So you're going to have 30 seconds.
Right, okay. All right, cool.
So it'll be Premier League winners.
Yeah.
So you need to name me 3 Premier League winners.
Yeah.
Whose surname begins with the letter L.
Oh, fuck. That's not that easy. I genuinely can't think of anyone. Last name. I mind blank completely.
Okay. I have a backup question.
Wait, can you give me some?
No, because they're written down on my phone after fun.
Right. So Premier League. Give me a minute.
I can't give you 30 seconds.
You can't give me 30 seconds. L's a hard one.
All right.
Well, I can't even think of the last name that begins with L.
Lampard.
Oh, Lampard. There's one.
No, you can't take that's mine. Right, I'll change it for you. So now you've got a good idea. Okay,
this is hard. You said this was easy.
This was easy.
My quiz was easy.
Did I get any right?
That's not my fault.
I got one right, actually.
Fucking hell.
Right,
I'm sweating. This is horrible.
This is what you did to me.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I give you 5 questions about the week just past. You're asking me something prehistoric. Got him.
Okay. Ready?
No.
Right. Oh, that's 30 minutes. Sorry.
I might get some. I wouldn't have got Lampard though, apparently.
So 4 players, either first or surname.
Yeah.
Won the Premier League.
Yeah.
Begins with the letter R.
Rooney. Would you give me Van Nistelrooy?
No. Yes, I will actually. Yes, I will, because it's rude.
Ryan Giggs.
Yep.
They're all Man United players.
Mm-hmm. That's what made this one a little bit easier for me.
Robert Pires.
Yep.
How many is that?
That's 4. I need one more. You got 3 seconds.
Fuck. I can't get Ribéry out of my head. I can't do it. There's so many as well.
Riyad Mahrez.
This is so hard. Do you know how? Because you put me on a timer.
I know.
This is not easy.
That's the idea.
No.
Rodri.
Yeah, I was getting there. I went back to come forward.
I know.
Robert Hoof. Leicester.
Yeah? Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah, I couldn't think of any.
Rodri.
I couldn't think of any. I've let myself down. I've let us down.
Henry.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have got our giveaway. We will put in the description about what it is.
Be on our socials as well.
Yeah, and all you need to do, subscribe, comment, let us know where you're from. From me, I hope everyone has a great evening and weekend, and I'll catch up with you next week, and I'll pass you on to Mike for our goodbyes.
Yeah, that's it.
All good.
Thanks, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The giveaway, the description will be in the description along with our socials. And until next week, take it easy. Peace.